as our lovely Sadhguru shares, the whole existence is a vibration, and so is your thought. If you generate a powerful thought and let it out, it will manifest itself. Now, we also know about the thoughts and emotions, huh? So, what's your rattle saying? Is number one. Here at IHP, we have the 5D frequency, whoo, and that rattle is all about love. All you need is love. Dun, 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 and our inner child. Being an adult, though, not broken. Nope, we are our own sorcerer. In fact, as a mystic, what I can tell you is tapping into the relational field and beyond is really fun. So it's not only our earthlings, but it's also, yes, I have had contact with more than just earth beings and earth stars. And that's for another side note. When our membership is content is out, that's when we're going to all get together. Let's get together, yes, because here it's for mindfulness living and loving and hoping. No. We actually have two hands, 2 feet, and we move into the journey of inner growth mindset and how to be yourself. So you continue to work on expanding that integrity that you have. Yeah. So some people, they don't have integrity. They have a desire to shame people, and that's because unfortunately they don't want to go to good therapy and get out of the shame button. So we leave alone the broken ones who basically, in fact, they like to say that humanity is not kind, that they're, awful, who knows what, they divide divisiveness, instead of all inclusiveness and expansion. Oh, they also don't know the owl. And they don't know about magic. It's a little magic. So really what they don't know is that there's no need to sacrifice anything. Nope, we don't need to shame and bend down backwards and over anymore and think of some god being monstrous. That didn't even happen probably way back then in the same way that we see people out there doing it. But sacred, what is sacred, and your heart is sacred, and you being yourself is sacred, and taming that lovely wind. So what do you rattle out there in the world? Communication. We're not ever going to really be perfect in communicating, are we? But we do know how to communicate from the heart with the wisdom, and the wisdom of the mind and the sorcerers that, well, ego and self, they work together as a pair when you have the fire. Mine is Jesus. Holy Spirit, yes, what is it called? The heart of fire. Forget what the word is, but la passione di Cristo, passion of Christ. So my Italian comes through every now and then. My lovely inner child never died. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, and my human circle, they're amazing. So is Pachamama. So Pachamama, which is the earth who welcomes all her children. And as always, the only ones who want a fear-mongering God are the same ones who, unfortunately, well, I'm assuming their rattle was not really fun. It's a very sad business when they don't explore their own thoughts and feelings and what they vibe out there. And that, what is it called? Frequency of hatred, divisiveness, shame, blame, fault, revenge. It's really not powerful in and of itself for those of us who are beloveds. Because see, we love ourselves first. We actually know how to do non-reactivity inside and out when somebody says, you're a piece of shit. Oh, really? Now that's funny. So I was wondering, do we want to continue talking about the politics, religion, what was it, yoga? Anything? I'm just curious if you wanted to keep on going with an intellectual conversation, or if you were done because you're, I don't know, ignorant or something. I mean, really, this is how it feels when you're empowered. You're not like, oh my God, they said the wrong word, or you get pissed. Pissiness really, that doesn't help you win anything. Really, are you winning an argument? Because why would you want to win something with social time? I mean, if you're in politics, then maybe I can understand it. Maybe, not really, not right now. But my point is, when I grew up, I was taught that professions had something to do with like being all, what is it called? Value, integrity. When I started to get older, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, those people, they're not acting like leaders. No, you know what? I'm removing that title. None of them are. Hey, God, those people, they use your name. Hey, Jesus, what's up? So I keep hearing them fear-mongering people left and right. And now I have smart sciences. What was it? Adaptive children do what? They project the reality their child would have wanted from the home, and they pick their leaders. So Peter Pan's and Lost Boys, got it. So the rattle that we all make is different. Mine is, hey, who wants to live forever? No, who wants to tap into their intelligence by being an integrated brain? Come on over for daily. Mindfulness living is really something great, and so is non-reactivity. In fact, what we really don't realize until we do, because others pointed out, the fact that you didn't give a shit about that thing, that really It says it in Italian, it's ti brucia il culo. Your butt is on fire, which means like you're fucking pissed. And I'm like, I don't know why they would be pissed. They should be happy. I don't give a shit about what they did. I mean, really, what they did wasn't anything fancy prancy. I mean, it was really coward's game. So I'm not sure I understand. And this innocence, right here, yeah. So people who don't know me, they're like, oh, you're hiding shit. No, I really don't hide shit. Why would I lie to you? I'm not ashamed of Maria. Again, I have no shame button. So when you have an inner child who did not get broken, thanks, mom, twin. I love you all. My younger sister. I love also the fathers, everyone. But really, hey, body, thank you so much. So I found out something about my body, and here's where Sadhguru, he's the best, the best of the best of the best. So remember, one, thought and emotion, they're not separate entities. The way you think is the way you feel. This is something I noticed as a teenager. Like, I like to use words. Let me think. Does this represent how I feel about life? No, not really. And when people want to correct me, I'm like, that's not what I was saying. But it's the same thing. Not really, but fine. You know what, Cusco? I'm not really wanting to argue with you. It's a bit of magic to allow the 3-year-olds to speak anytime they just want to interrupt. Excuse me, you're confusing science and spirituality. No, I'm not. I'm bringing them together. You are very much not a smart human being. I wanted to say moron, but he's not a moron. Nobody's really a moron. That's really not nice. Plus, I'm a moron too. Like, really, not joking. So I don't get jokes. So sometimes people are like, how do you not get jokes? I don't know. I laugh. Why do you laugh? Well, my body knows it's funny because my body's smarter than my ego, which is on my left brain. My left brain's like, hey, Maria, I want to understand it. Well, I'm going to ask them, hey, are you stupid? No, but I don't understand the joke. Could you explain it to me? Again, I really still, I'm not getting it. You know what? Never mind. And this is why, as a teenager, apparently kids wanted to beat me up, but they didn't, because I would have ratted them out. Yeah, to this day, I'll rat anybody out. I tell them, don't tell me about your shit. I'm going to take you to the police. There's one thing that I got told. It was a very specific, explicit memory, as my mother and my grandmother talked about these kids. And this is in Naples, Italy. So in the area where we're at, there was a bunch of, not a bunch, yeah, a bunch of mothers that were basically attacking the police from their houses in tall buildings like Manhattan kind of deal, but smaller, obviously. And what happened was 2 kids were drug dealers, I think. And unfortunately, you know, we all know the problems we have out there. We hope politicians at some point, shape, or form will care about. Yeah, I know. Some people, yeah, they try their best. Sure, they do. Yes, we are going to ensure that they continue trying to do their best by making sure to present to them, hey, we want opportunity, like good therapy. We want people to have health care, money, you know, stuff like that. So we're going to keep on doing what we've been doing for eons. Oh, we can do it with a smile and no humbug. By the way, that's what I'm doing right now, which is why the 5D Collective is all you need is love. Dun, 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 dun. All you need is love. Because when suffering happens, it's in your temporal junction, and I don't use it because I use my prefrontal. Mindfulness daily practices. That's what I will share with you all once the membership content is out. Yes, and then when I share with you funny stories of how to do it in person. I didn't know that I was doing mindfulness even as a kid. It was, hey, Maria, what's up? Well, my feelings are sad right now. Why? Well, this thing happened. Well, is it going to be really personal? No, it's not personal, actually. So you work with your heart and your gut and your brain. They're all yours. Oh, what was it? That's right. Thank you, Sadhguru. The life within you is not there to serve your body and emotion or emotion. So that means consciousness, soul, spirit, how many different words people use it. Spiritual bypassers are amazing. They still don't know, like the Zen master, how to use the life within them because they have laundry. So that word laundry tells me that Zen is not the title you deserve because you don't know how to be Zen when you're crying. I do, because I've done it a million times. In fact, my body can store a lot of emotion. I'm like, whoa, even fear. Fear is like, wow, that one is the most painful of all because I actively think I'm dying. That's not funny, but it is funny for a body that's grounded in my own groundedness. See, this is healthy self-worth people with an integrated brain. I'm just letting y'all know the technical verbiage, and then who wants to live forever? We don't live forever, but guess what? Eustress is really better than distress. And the fancy lady and man in suit, they don't know what to do with distress. No, they do. They like to show it off. And I'm thinking, oh, you're going to get a lot more older than I am, but let me leave it alone. Okay, so the body, mind, emotion are there to serve the life. So my body, in fact, is to a T, serves everything that I'm out here to be. And, you know, it's all cool. Be yourself with integrity. Oh, and flaws. And remember, integrity means what other people say about you. Doesn't matter. You shouldn't be ashamed of what you have done. However, this doesn't mean you go up to somebody, spit in their face, insult them, get aggressive. No. No, 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 none of that. You see, it's more of like Gandhi and being peaceful. So it's restorative embodiment, equanimity. This is why the fancy lady, again, she wants to show all of her emotions in her 3-year-old. Because really, otherwise, you would understand why non reactivity is, mwah. Again, it's powerful because it's not about hiding who you are in front of other people. It's a ventral vagal. The ventral vagal is where I say, I don't give a shit about what you just spoke. And as a mammal, oh, that's not going to sit well with you if you have any of this. I'm not trying to do it on purpose. You just ain't my mother, father, sister, brother, family. Yeah. In fact, you know what happens when it is personal? It's because you know someone. Guess what happens when it's personal, but you're your own beloved? What do I need? Self to breathe. I need air. What do you need? Food. What do I need? Water. And when your heart is your heart, you're like, it's okay. Come on up, ventral vagal state, and you're having a good time because you don't have no narrative. You got feelings. See, to show yourself, those people in Elsa mantles that made the twin flame thing out to be a shit show, they have no idea what it means to be a feminine. If they did, they wouldn't have made a shit show out of it. But remember, insecurely attached people, they like to have who wants to live. They like to be Peter Pans and Lost Boys. They're following the leaders. You see copycats all over the place. They don't know that fearless and bold is when you can stand in front of somebody and say, of course my feelings are hurt. Of course I will, but it's all good. You have a right to feel exactly as you do. So do I. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. It's called being humble. God taught me all about it, made sure I'd remember I don't know everything, and then Sadhguru comes in and teaches me about the yogis and darkness. I have no issue with darkness. In fact, Into the Unknown, that song in and of itself is a teenager's version, a lustful, visceral, all reactive version, because it's, I want to go, but I don't want to go, but they're going to tell me yes, and then they're going to tell me no. And I'm thinking of Tom and Jerry and that 3-year-old and an 8-year-old. So anybody who doesn't get to Patrick Tiahan is basically at this point to a person that is a mystic, restored embodiment, non-reactive, except for when I am a little bit. I like to be challenged every now and then. Yeah, so I get to take the lead and let you all know when I'm challenged. You know how you reclaim your power? Yeah. Unlike what the lady says, it's okay. You got to time out. Come on. Turn that knowledge into wisdom and that wisdom into knowledge. What happened? Well, that word, it really kind of struck a tone with me, and that tone, and well, you know, I want to be loyal to what I said. I'm Pacha. I bet you that you can expand your consciousness ego because it's okay. It's not personal. You're dealing with unknowns, unexpected, unwanteds. You have an open heart. You got the flow state, selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, richness. What else do you want in life? And you got the opportunity to do it with what? A personal, loving connection. And what just happened? My mind was blown away. And that is actually why non-reactivity and mindfulness living is amazing. And Sadhguru, you don't explain it the human way. I do. But let's remind ourselves of the message that we got yesterday. And then we might be back with more later, or we might not. But meantime, anybody who does look forward to more practices and to more stories, sign up, like, share, subscribe. Once we get our membership content out, I have some plans. We have one-to-one mentorship for those who want to reach objectives, and masterclass in the works and in the future spirituality retreats, which is going to be a small number. I'm one person, one mystic here. And that's always going to be responsibly. So remember, your inner child is important. EMDR, child parts work, somatics with a good therapist like Patrick Tiahan. He's awesome for anybody who wants to know more about childhood trauma, how not to project, da-da-da-da. And Dr. Daniel Fox for personality disorders. He's an expert. And then Dr. Daniel Siegel. He's awesome with Mindset Institute, all his courses. Bezel Vanderkolk, Stephen Porges, Janina Fisher. NICABM is a really great place to start. And if you're proactive, it means you're not going to go around, how dare you use that word? I'm going to block you. I'm going to cancel you. Those are all people who are pretending. Go follow the pretenders if that's what you want to do. If you want to be a grown-up, it's called, I don't take things personally because I'm a grown-up. I mean, I started as a teenager because why wouldn't I? It's my body. It's my heart. It's my gut. It's my brain. And really, it's my ability to harness my thoughts and emotions. Am I stupid? Did I not know that my thoughts and emotions are not irrefutable facts? Wait a minute, what was that? That lady, what did she say that people think their thoughts and emotions are? Irrefutable facts about what? There's a word for it. So people are learning fancy words now. I just got told when I was 8 that being disowned isn't possible. Thanks, twin, because I got disowned at 8. And I was like, oh my God, I'm disowned. I remember, that's another explicit memory. I was like, I'm no more a sister. And my mother explained that doesn't happen. Or whatever it is she did, she explained. And I was like, oh, okay. And from that moment forth, I knew who wants to live forever. I live forever. Well, I don't, but I am part of consciousness. So technically, I do live forever, and I'll be back into the future, but not as Maria. But I know my future husband. He's really awesome, and I know where he comes from, and I know why my Earth stars don't follow me. So, powerful emotions. They feel like irrefutable facts. Kristen Lindquist, she gets interviewed by Big Well, Big Think. Effective realism. Let's find out how many people know how to distinguish between their thoughts and emotions being real. Oh, and emotions come first, not thoughts. But some people say, no, they don't. Sure. I find it hard to believe that my first years of life means shit. Yeah, you know what? Your brain means shit to me. I mean, hey, you go be fancy with a fancy lady. They're having a good time in fancy suits, and then inside here, well, they're armored in shut because the body's gonna basically say, okay, you decided for torture, voidness, emptiness, loathing, not self-worth. You just look like you have self-worth because, well, you know what teenagers do. They're copycats. They all have, the saddest part about this is I've met a number of human beings in their mid-20s, and I'll never forget this one. There are women and men who will, and I'm going to keep it vague, to privacy shit. Yeah, because it's just so, in my personal opinion, low that I'm like, what the fuck? But now that I know about attachment trauma, I'm like, oh, it makes sense. They have low self-esteem. They don't know how to be healthy. They're codependents. They do enmeshing. They really need a therapist, and they're not going. Making up an entire trip that never happened so that you can make other people that you're also interested in jealous, which means envy, jealousy, spite, shame, blame, fault, revenge. And that's why the woman in the fancy suit, remember, don't think of wedding bells once they fuck you. Same thing goes for these mid-20 women and men. The men, now we know, they feel contempt, disgust towards us, and then shame. All of them continue to do this shit. They want to blame Lucifer. It's unresolved transgenerational trauma. It's called get to therapy, get to loving yourself first, and stop following idiots. And then maybe you'll know what it's like to love to love and love to live and love to laugh and love to dance. So again, reminding everyone, please be compassionate, but leave alone the Cuscos, because really, Pinocchio, have fun on that island. I'll see you later, alligator, and come on over here so we can make fun of those who don't know. It's a bit of magic. So when you know bold and fearless, again, it's not about shouting in people's faces. No, I've had people actively, as they're hugging me goodbye, and just believe me, my jaw drops whenever these things happen because I'm embarrassed. And then I think, wow, that didn't happen because that's like, am I not decent enough? And that's why at this point I just laugh, because the lack of integrity, the lack of heart, body value, but the lack of self-empowered people who have been older than me and then younger than me doesn't matter, because I'm the one who's supposed to set the example, which I take very importantly, but not in the way of being by force dressed a certain way by force. No, that was liars, pants on fire. As a kid, I grew up. They told me that I was supposed to conduct myself in a specific way so that I could maybe achieve getting into a specific position. Yeah, no. So what you wear, anybody know about the don't judge a book by its cover? Yeah. So anytime I'm being looked at for how I'm wearing, number one, there's a sign of what you are. Whenever I say, oh, I'm polyamory, number two, let me see how you interact with me. Now I'm going to notice. Now I'm going to tell you I'm spirituality, mystic, and more. 3, okay, Eric, I see you don't like my tail, but hey, it's okay. Nice to meet you, closed-minded human being who lacks the intelligence to learn about shit and to be empowered. Because really, it doesn't take a champ to know how to be. Wait a minute. Hey, Robert Sapolsky, what's up? Determined. Ah, yes, determined. Thank you, Robert, for that. So he says there's no free will. I'm going to say that there is free will. I'm presenting to people opportunity right now, which is whenever there's been a bit of magic in my life, always, because I chose so as a kid growing up. I said, I'm never going to stop believing in Santa Claus. I have God here, Akash, you call all the names in the book. I'm lucky. I have family, I have loved ones. I have grace. And I have gratitude. Why? Because I know how to be here now in my prefrontal, which means I'm curious, open, accepting, and loving, because I'm using my left and my right, and I'm non-reactive. And when I do get charged, I pay attention to what I'm told. You know why? Because I have a human in front of me. And their heart matters because I chose to say yes to Jesus and God. And so to stay open-hearted and to treat you the way I would want to be treated, which is with kindness, respect, integrity. And that means not let me, in my head, think, I know everything about this person and I'm gonna so anytime you meet people who are unfortunately going to do this, you just know that they had it worse than you did, because they don't know how to bring forth their best foot forward, and they didn't take care to go and get good therapy. If you have been put through unpleasant situations in life, you should be sensible enough not to put anyone else in such situations. It's not about sensible. As Robert Sapolsky points out, they've been determined. As I'm pointing out, they have free will. That is to notice how they treat another human being with their tone, with their ears, and everything. So to me, straightforward. But obviously, we need to educate, empower, and also allow ourselves to keep people to a standard. So I don't give demons or romance a chance when it comes to humans. You're going to make your choice. I'm going to learn who you are. That's about it. I'm not going to school you. This is what empowerment means. So the minute that I'm able to be in the presence of a person who has low self-esteem, indirect communication, passive-aggressive, and is undecently, unhealthfully presenting to me their sob story, am I not decent enough to be saluted? I have a good time, because I'm in the presence of a 3-year-old, a 16-year-old. I don't have intelligence, intellect, or anybody who's teaching me shit. Actually, will I teach them anything? No. But I'll give them a different sensation, which will allow them to have the moment and time to maybe pause and reflect. Because my ventral vagal state means that their fight, flight, attach, cry, collapse, submit, please, appease, their low shame shit going on with their lack of regard of what they're bringing to the table, has the opportunity to recalibrate. That's why non-reactivity is also important. The lady doesn't learn anything because she wants to brutally dissect healing with good therapists, because obviously she doesn't want to go. We know that by now. Yes, give man a reason to stay. Let him open the door. Sure, I will. I'll baby him till he dies. No, I think not, man or woman or they. We don't need to be needed unless you're insecure. You will want to be appreciated, and then, of course, we're needed. You don't learn to self-soothe or self-regulate in a healthy way all by yourself, or mammals. This is why it's relational trauma, and it's also how you heal. So again, magic. When magic appears, you're invited to see the world through the eyes of wonder and awe, taking on the innocence of a child who knows that all things are possible. And that's exactly how my heart stayed. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. But thank you above all, Maria, because I'm the one who chose it when I was presented with the opportunity to do the exact thing that people don't know how to do, which is decentralization of the self. Thanks, Patrick McNamara. He talks about the religious self. It doesn't have to be a religious self. It could just be your core narrative, relational, and solo self. And when you have, hey, what's up, self? Oh, look, I have emotions. They came up first. Is that why I'm in a pissy mood? Yeah, I actually am. Why laundry, Zen Master? Well, because I think humans are stupid and they suck and they're doing all this shit. I see. So you're using your temporal junction, Zen Master, because you're not knowing how to be in the now, which is where you're not everyone. You co-create with a bunch of other people. There's 8 billion. You're not God, and I'm sure God knows exactly what's happening. So how about you bring it down a notch to neutrality instead of being in your little fists and get into your ventral vagal state. Knowing how to explain all this is really amazing. So when you tap into your infinite higher human conscious potential, you know, oh, it's amazing. So I can thank all of the people from my oversoul, because anytime I get told, you know what, you should change, Maria. Really? Should I now? Let me take a sip of my coffee. Hold on a minute. I'm going to say that I love that you share with me your thoughts about what I should do with my friendships and lovers and all that. Nah, I don't think so, but I do thank you for that. I also tell my mother, she doesn't mind, no, she does mind her own business. It's exactly why I got taught that it's okay to have my own life, because, you know, and this is what it's your life, not my life, it's your life. She repeated that to me consistently as I would get up in the morning and go to school and be very happy. And once I got older, and said, I still do not know, Sadhguru, and found out that it is the doorway, the only doorway to seeking knowledge. So when you do love to learn and you're in a classroom full of grown-ups who aren't grown-ups because they're teenagers, I want a shortcut to integration. I want to stay in my modulated embodiment self. I don't want people, there's just so many different stories. I'm just in class thinking, I thought I left teenagers a long time ago. Why are these people in these classrooms? Now I know, thanks to my teacher, Sue Martin, that they're the 16-year-old versions of themselves, the fight response, which is why they're show yourself. And that's also why they're all attracted to being each other's cheerleaders and jocks and you name it. They're all special somehow. They do something really special compared to everybody else because they can't just be the average bear. Because who wants to be what? Who wants to be yourself? I do. So dealing with the unknowns, unexpecteds, and unwanteds while open-heartedly with a flow state, your flow state with a brain. So every word you utter, every action you take, your very existence. Is it for everyone's well-being or just about you? So I do know I share a lot about me, but it's not for me. It's that way you know why I can be your mentor, why I'm a fun content creator, also why mindfulness is really important and why non-reactivity is amazing. Oh, and how people will call you liar, liar, pants on fire as you smile more and more every day. But you're like, you know what, it's okay. I'm not going to let you know that what you're telling me is basically that you feel like shit inside, because I think I'm pretty much needing to leave right now, because you're like throwing up. And now I know from Patrick Dehan what that means. So I'm thinking I need to leave. It's not enough to ask people about a positive experience. It's about savoring that experience and getting them to stay with it. Bill O'Hanlon. Thank you, Bill. And as Patrick Tahan points out, he regrets his childhood. It made him unkind. He still works on it. Thank you, Patrick, for setting the example. And hopefully, all people will learn from him how to disengage from bringing their unhealthy shit to people like me, because, you know, it happens more often than not that somebody gets a twisted foot and they do humbug. Because, you know, they don't take, like the man, am I not decent enough? He thinks he taught me a lesson. He actively thinks he taught me common courtesy of some sort. It's called passive aggressive. I didn't see it being aggressive or passive. I found it and still find it humorous, because that's what it means to be your own rattle. And it's your own lover and just everything. I'm like, seriously, I know how to see through so many things, but it's in a fun way. And that's why I need smart men and women around me who are just as empowered, because they're the ones who can spot things that my blind eyes won't see. Because, you know, you can't spot everything. And that's because it's a big circle of humans, a lot going on, a lot of different inner children out there. But at the end of the day, let's share love, let's share compassion. Let's understand that everybody is doing the best they can. But like Patrick Tiahan says, it's not just the best they can. People don't have to go around hurting each other anymore. They have options. Good therapists. Then they have options to follow assholes and not do therapy. And that's okay too, because their blade is what they're using, and it won't change our lives, because the laws are what we look to keep order. So at the end of the day, being able to have integrity means that you respect another person, which is why you don't keep those likes and dislikes charged. And so if I meet a person who is in different political, religious, and all of that, I consistently, and never have I felt that I need to talk down to you, be retortive, whatever, regret, all those things. When I'm talked down to because I'm a woman, I understand that it's cultural bias. I don't take it personally. I find it humorous, to say the least, because that's what happens when you're playful, when you are taking a leap of faith because you love to be with people. Why? Because, you know, slow and steady, one wins the race, but also I see the big picture. And I trust the great mystery. And because God told me, Maria, they're your brothers and sisters. You've all been made the exact way I want you to be made. And today I know that all those people are paused if they don't go to get good therapy. So I'm not dealing with a person. I'm dealing with their trauma, which is why I'm happy to be able to provide them a different experience, because that's their opportunity. Is the minute I don't treat you like the piece of shit that you got treated, whatever way it is, that you're going to have a pause, because you're going to be a chord that's in a discord. It's I have harmony going on, you're going to be off tune. And if you don't recognize it, it's okay, because I had the opportunity to behave in the exact way I wanted to, which is respecting another human being independently from how your mannerisms, which are biologically rude, thank you, Stephen Porges, you're unaware of it. You will continue to be unaware of it because you don't give a shit, because you think you're right. And that's an adaptive child. Terry, what do? Unbridled self-expression. What else? Oh, they need to control the situation. What else was it? They're going to keep trying to get you to see their side alone. What else was it? Oh, they don't know healthy boundaries. They're going to retaliate once you don't give them this, because their 3-year-old is wanting that. And then what? Oh, withdraw. Yeah, so the cowards withdraw. This is where I'm not actually looking at somebody like, whoa, you're amazing, because you thought. I'm looking at it neutrally, because I'm non-reactive to a person who has shame and who doesn't go and get themselves healed, because, you know, you're lazy and you're a coward and you are a person who doesn't care to do it. And really, you didn't do anything to me, because I don't have a sensitive ego. Now, if I have a person with a sensitive ego, I'm going to say, hey, look, remember who your audience is. They don't know manners. They're biologically rude. They can't hear you. They need a therapist. They don't want to go. Just leave it alone. They're not part of your crowd. So you learn how to, again, be playful with it, because there's time, and we get to keep on sharing with each other how to be able and work with a lot of good information that recently has made its way to us. Mindfulness supports people like mindset that are ready for being their inner child adult. The ones who want to do emotions, not the ones saying, I want it. The ones who want to do personal development, not, I didn't, I want life now. And the ones who want to feel love here and safe here and safe here, and then to have fun with people. Because it's not oh no, I don't feel that way when I have people who are being reactive. Consistently, thanks to attachment and trauma educators who are more informed than I am, I learn how to be a person who remembers, hey, it's not personal. Whatever the fuck is going on has nothing to do with you. It's an embodied brain in front of you. They got shit, whatever, and that's about it. Oh, and it's nice to know that you give them the opportunity to perceive themselves, and if there is any self-awareness, accountability, and regulation, they're going to notice, like Patrick Tiahan says, that they brought unkindness into the room. And they're going to take ownership of it with themselves, not with shame, and then bring forth a conversation with another person, with the person that they actively brought forth that unkindness with, because that is what we all can do. So, for example, I still have a tone with my twin and my mom. They know I'm working with it. And whenever I've gotten reactive, I've apologized. My twin is the one I apologize more than anything, because she and I have our cat-dog dynamic, and I laugh because seriously, the last time it happened, I was like, shit, okay, that was completely unnecessary, although I know what triggered it. And I went and apologized, and she knows that I love her, but that's not an excuse. So what I'm saying is our herd helps us to be non-reactive, because that's what it means to be empowered, but it also means what Jesus showed me, and anybody who understands, forgive them for they do not know. Stephen Porges, they don't know that they're biologically rude. Their safety behaviors: attach, cry, collapse, submit, please, appease, fight, flight, freeze, flop, drop. The fancy lady and man in suit, oh, they're all over their own safety behaviors. In fact, if I ever were in front of them, which I hope not to ever be, because I really don't want to, I would be able to be nice, but I don't appreciate what they're sharing, although I know I should, because they're sharing something for the ones who don't want to go and get their trauma healed, because it's that painful. So they're deflecting, and their unhealthy soothing mechanisms make them feel like princesses and princes, and they're all Peter Pans and Lost Boys. So the reality is, I can understand rationally why not everybody's going to head on over to Patrick Tiahan, because it's explained, textbook. Forgive them for they do not know. Turn the other cheek, because it means I'm going to disregard your biologically rude behavior, because you're an adaptive pattern who doesn't know what you're doing. Consciously, your subconscious is ruling you. You're doing karma, not dharma, and you don't even know, even if you're doing yoga or mindfulness, what the fuck you're doing. Spiritual bypassers, mantras of mental health, people who are unhealed, doing therapy, and triggerable by the minute. And I'm thinking, what the fuck, if I have a therapist with alters, all of a sudden you're triggered. You really need to not be here at all until you get all of your consciousness barriers and memory, whatever barriers, off and become a whole self. Like, the fact that you don't take responsibility about that, to me, is like, what the fuck. Oh, also, please, shamans, stop. And tarot readers, you're not therapists or Reiki practitioners. This is another thing that is very disrespectful towards all professions. But predators, really strong word. Anyone can be one. So honestly, again, wanting to share information means not using words that are indicative of a closed group. Smart people know this. Spread the word. We have people who are mature emotionally, mentally, and physically. It's not the fancy woman who wants to make you non-reactive. No, she doesn't know how the difference is between the true emotional plane, because hers isn't online yet. If she did know all her emotions, then she would evaluate and be very happy, this is from my body's experience, to be able and dive deep within the depths of emotion and be able to be in the presence of somebody who is, I got yelled at in my face, and as I'm being yelled at, I'm completely recalibrating my nervous system, thanks panic attacks, and I'm like, and I'm addressing the caring connection who's in front of me, who didn't choose to do that consciously. No, they went offline like that. It's called red. And then there's a yellow, and there's Stephen Porges again. And so again, the lady doesn't know what the fuck she talks about, because she didn't get educated on the subject matter, because she thinks she already knows everything. In fact, she thinks she can do a better job than therapists. I've heard what she says. She re-traumatizes people. No, yeah. But some people, they're okay with that, because they actually get off on people who are having panic attacks. Let's not go there. When you have certain types of awarenesses, because you are embodying the capacity to tap into your relational field, and so if I'm interacting with you, I am open to you, because I'm not in any physical threat. It's not fun. That's for another story. So thanks for stopping by. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Again, remember, it's a bit of magic. Be playful, have fun, take a leap of faith with people. Slow and steady wins the race. Big picture, life's a mystery. Life is a mystery. No, no, no. But be a beloved. And so when you're being fearless and bold, what your rattle wants to shake, shake it. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Okay, so your rattle and your thoughts. You want them to be with love, with your subconscious aligned, and so you're going to be playful, get a chit chat with your ego yourself, bring forth the magic. You don't need to sacrifice anything, sacredness, and taming the wind. So you being able to use the inner growth mindset, we have the main modules on the website. That one is a good place to start, but you need to know how you are with your nervous system. And you want to make sure you have your inner child parts healed and that you are ready for all of that. So mindfulness is an important part of your journey, but it's also important for you to know how you handle emotions completely, which is what the lady doesn't recognize of her own self. And again, I'm not going to name names, and I don't want you all to go looking these people up because they're serving a purpose. They're just not serving the purpose of expansion. But they don't understand their inner world as well as they think they do, and in fact they're enamored with themselves and they're cut off from pure consciousness, and that doesn't mean they're cut off from God and creatorship and all that we are, because the reality is it's a very in-depth conversation. But all of those of us who embrace spirituality and sciences know that it's God, Akash, the heart of the sky, it's everything, dark matter and dark energy, and that famous, I still don't know how to explain it, but I know that there's a balance out there in the universe. That's why I'll just use dark matter, dark energy. So it sounds ridiculous, but this is the sad story that a feminine accepts defeat. I'm a feminine. I unconditionally love. I'm a nurturer. That's what anyone will become when they are their own beloved. And then they're a lover of all. And that's why Sadhguru, when he asks us to promise to unconditionally love all people, I know what he's talking about, but I already promised it to God and Jesus in my catechism when I got confirmation, which is why I didn't feel guilty too much. I felt a little bit of guilt when I was like, hey God, no demon or Lucifer and these people in cloaks. They're just making you out to be this monster. I don't understand. And I was like, the guilt is coming from the institution, thinking, no, they taught me that I'm supposed to take them as leaders. They're not the voice of the God that I learned about. And if really this is the God, you're a monster, but you're not a God. And that's it's not God. Those human beings have a representation of what shit happened to them, and they're just perpetuating it. So all of sciences shows me what I learned about God. Heaven in every person's body can be achieved when you learn how to navigate your nervous system, your whole self, the core, the relational, the narrative, and the solo self. You become true spirituality by living a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self. You get to be the bigger person, Pacham, when you have true empowerment, which means you're non-reactive when somebody's being a shit in front of you, because really, again, they're not really a shit. They're a person who needs a therapist. They just don't want to go because it's that small of a, and they go watch movies, and they have leaders that tell them it's okay to behave that way. The way that kids learn is by observing. The way humans learn is by observing, and it's not observing only. We're a vibration. My thoughts matter, which is why I silence my ego doesn't talk when I'm interacting with you. I'm interacting with you, and because I'm a person who owns all this, observe, witness, narrate, I'm not going to be reactive. If I get reactive, I notice it. And if you point out something to me because I'm getting charged, I'll notice it, and then I'll be able to reassess. And that's when you're going to know that you are somebody who, one, desires to actually put into practice mindfulness and then to live spirituality. It doesn't mean you believe in anything, but you bring it all together. Welcome aboard for those who will come back. Have a wonderful day for those of you who don't. And again, like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. And if you know anybody who looks forward to one-to-one mentorship, to practices, to Reiki. Also, we have Universal Love Transmission sessions for personal development. They're on the YouTube channel. And the masterclass is still in the works again. And spiritual retreat, I'm thinking about stuff. So sign up, subscribe, and let anybody who wants to do self-help with mindfulness and mindset come on over and have a great day. Be yourself, and with integrity, please, and your flaws. Say, hey Eric, I got a tail. Oh, you don't like fish? Well, I do though. So how do we want to work it out? Do you think you can stick around, or is it too much to smell? Okay, you know what? Thanks so much. I'm gonna go and hang out with the ones who like the fish and the and the meat and the legs. Thanks, Eric. Bye. And that's how it works. So we're always open to all of those of you who are unconditionally loving. The ones who want to be picky and shame. I'm picky. They say I'm picky, but I'm picky because I want healthy boundaries. Because the ones who are unhealthy, again, am I not decent enough? So, long story short, I caught myself. What I'm saying is, we welcome people who welcome their humanity and all humanity, and nobody is better than anyone, and nobody plays God. Nobody. And mystics and non mystics are friends. And some of us do have superpower. No, but we do have access to the sphere. It's fun. It's really fun. So, join us